much for being here. I'm so thrilled that you can all make it and we can all gather in this space together. I want to thank the Zimmermans for hosting the event. Can we all give them a round of applause? So Greg and Susie generously offered to host us tonight. If you haven't had a chance yet, they spend a lot of time and effort working on this garden out back. So please take a second to check that out. And also there's lots of food. And it's just a beautiful space to bring this community together. And I'm thrilled about that. I also want to say a thank you to my team, including the family and friends who have supported me through this race. I want to thank Matthew, my husband, for being such a great partner in this effort. And also my amazing younger sister, Elizabeth, is here from Bozeman, Montana, where she goes to college. And she flew up just for this event and has been an absolute amazing help this week. And I also need to thank my incredibly talented and hardworking campaign manager, Stuart, who's filming. And if you haven't got a chance to connect with him, he's the person to fill out your contribulopes with and give dollars to. Also the person to go to for questions about the race and the campaign. So thank you to everyone for coming out tonight. I so appreciate it. It means the world to see friends here and supporters. And while it takes a lot of people to run a successful campaign, seeing folks turn out and be involved in this effort is deeply meaningful. And I really hope to carry the momentum from today into the rest of this race, through the finish line, and into the legislature as your next representative for West Fairbanks. So the stakes are high in this race, and many candidates will say that, but we can start to feel overwhelmed with that message. However, if this seat is lost and the leadership of our district is handed over to extremists, there are severe consequences that could come from that scenario. The State House could become Republican-led. Our fiscal challenges could remain unaddressed and unresolved. And socially regressive policies, such as those which impede access to reproductive health care, further isolate those who are marginalized in our communities, or which disenfranchise voters, could actually be passed. So tonight, I'm really thankful to see people out, because going forward in this race, we have to unite together as a community to combat the dangerous and destructive narratives that are propagated by special interests and far-right extremists. We also need to elect leaders who will sow the seeds of respectful discourse, who will work across the aisle with their colleagues to find moderation and compromise, and deal with the outcomes amidst a storm of hyperpartisanship, and whose values and intentions demonstrate and amplify the golden heart of this community. Additionally, as the only Democrat and the only woman in this race, I find myself extremely proud and humbled to carry the torch of female leadership into the next cohort of elected female leaders. As we saw from this morning's Supreme Court decision, there has never been a more critical time to assure that women's voices are heard in the halls of the Alaska State Capitol. Amen. So that being said, I have a comprehensive platform which identifies 3 major goals for my time in elected office. The first thing is to promote Alaska's economic future. I believe that the time is now to address Alaska's fiscal crisis with comprehensive solutions. Other than the people of Alaska, our permanent fund is the greatest financial resource possessed by the state. So I want to see the fund continue to grow and pay out dividends decades from now, impacting the children who are here tonight. And this means we need to address the conflicting statutes on the books and resolve this issue for the long term. I also believe that after years of budget cuts, we need to ensure that we are paying for critical and essential state services. No more doubling down on massive budget cuts that only serve to harm and destabilize our communities. Additionally, we must begin to open pathways for new development and industry, and that can provide a smoothing effect over Alaska's traditional boom and bust economic cycle. It also can help provide jobs for hardworking, blue-collar Alaskans whose stock I come from as the child of union members. The second major platform I have is to preserve educational opportunities. And that means forward funding K-12 education, providing for stable and predictable funding for the University of Alaska as our economic engine, and also fixing the broken retirement system so that we can benefit both educators and all public employees. I would be a listening and continually responsive ear to our educators and the faculty and staff at the university. These talented individuals have been bestowed with the sacred task of preparing our young Alaskans for prosperous and productive futures. And their input is extremely critical to me. And then my third platform goal is to provide for the public health, safety, and well-being of Alaskans. It's really hard to overstate how near and dear this issue is to my heart. I personally graduated with a master's in public health during the 2020 height of the pandemic. For years, the legislature has been stymied with circular budget discussions and dead-end efforts to improve the fiscal situation. As these talks have sucked the oxygen out of the room, time after time, many of our most critical public health and safety needs have been pushed to the back burner and left to stagnate. As your next representative, I want to bring these issues back to the forefront of our conversations, working to fund public safety and wraparound services, and strive to address Alaska's mental health crisis, and I don't use that word lightly, crisis, and help end the epidemic of suicide mortality across our state. Overall, the challenges our state faces are myriad, they're complex. They do not have one-size-fits-all solutions. Despite this reality, there is nothing on earth that I would rather dedicate my life's work to than the people of this state and the prosperity of Fairbanks as my home. I am ready to find the many opportunities amidst the challenges that we have. I stand excited about the possibility that I have, both tonight and in the future, to provide representation that can be immediately effective and leadership which is experienced and energized for our community and our state. I'm also a fourth-generation Alaskan, and I have skin in the game. As a young Alaskan, I can say with hope that I will be here in 50 years. And I will be here no matter what that future holds, because I would rather be in Alaska on its worst day than anywhere else on its best day. Over my last 5 years working as a chief of staff in the legislature, and through my many additional years in Fairbanks as a teacher, as a student, as a director for a nonprofit organization, as a volunteer, and as a participant in our thriving arts and recreation community opportunities, there's a fire that's ignited within me. A decade ago, I never would have believed that I would be pursuing a career in public service. But today, I am immensely humbled and honored to be in the position where I can run this race, and I can win. Striving to create a future for Alaskans where we don't just survive from one day, or month, or year to the next, but where we can thrive. I'm here because I'm all in for Alaska. Thank you all so much for being here.
All right.